For our next segment, we have with us Monica Khan, the EVP of Creator Team at Spotter. Monica builds relationships with creators and provides them with exclusive access to capital. Preston Arsman, also known as PrestonPlayz, a YouTuber who has benefited from these relationships.
In this next fireside chat, we'll hear from how Preston got started with Spotter and how it helped him level up his career. Please help us in welcoming Monica Khan and Preston Arsman. Also, our guest, Maggie.
Oh man, look at this
Hello. Hi. How is everyone? How's everyone feeling?
Yeah.
We got PrestonPlayz in the house.
We love some energy, guys.
All right, so this is all about unique, ways to unlock opportunities as a creator and what Spotter can do for you, right? So, Monica, I'd love for you to kick it off. Tell us a little bit about what you do at Spotter and a little bit about Spotter in general.
Yeah. Spotter, what do you guys do? Just heard about them.
One of our top creators here. Yeah, so at Spotter, we're really focused on helping creators get better at what they're already doing. So that's specifically contributing to their continued success on the platform. So, we really started with capital and providing creators with upfront capital so that they could unleash their creative freedom. And in doing that capital business, we actually have deployed over $850 million to creators, which we're really excited about.
I took up most of that, by the way.
Preston is one of our recipients, but we actually have a few creators in the room that I'd love to shout out. We've got DNA Show, we've got Lizzie Capri, we've got Cortrezy, we've got Nick LMAO. Really, really excited to have them here. But also Dude Perfect is one of our top partners, and Mr. Beast is one of our top partners. So, in funding these creators with capital, I think the reason we've been successful is that we've given them creative freedom, that has continued to be par for the course, but then also the financial freedom to scale. And in building those partnerships and funding them with capital, we really became intimately familiar with their needs and goals and expanded our offerings beyond how we fund them. So my team, the creator team, we're responsible for engaging with creators, building relationships with them, and welcoming them to the Spotter creator community through which we provide value beyond the capital, including the capital. So that consists of the community itself and the connections we're able to drive through community, unique data and insights through knowledge, as well as AI-powered creator software that I'm excited to talk about later.
Amazing. So talk me through the process of how Spotter kind of identifies the creative constraints for a creator and then develops a solution. I'm assuming it's not one size fits all, right?
Yeah, no, I'm happy to talk about that. So, when we got started thinking about how we wanted to support creators, we became deeply knowledgeable about their constraints, and we learned that it was really hard to scale. They had small to non-existent teams, and what we really saw through forest through the trees, but that what they needed more of was time, knowledge, and money. And what we heard from them was that they wanted support, but they didn't want us to solve their problems. They wanted us to give them resources that they could uniquely address challenges on their own and thrive on their own. So, we asked them, what could we give you that could solve as many of your pain points as possible? So that started with capital. And, capital was something that they could put back into their business, scale, and multiply their impact. And because they were able to continue creating as they have been, they were able to sort of do all of these things with the capital. So then that approach where we put creators first, we really listened to their needs, allowed us to realize that there were other opportunities and ways that we could support them. So we saw the opportunity for community through which we could provide white glove dedicated support, where we could also provide these insider data and insights that we're just sitting on to help them program their strategies and whatnot. And then finally, we've thought about AI creator software, leading in the way Samsung is, and excited to also unleash that with creators.
Is anybody here on the newsletter for Spotter, the creator newsletter?
Oh, we got some hands.
Couple of hands, guys.
There's going to be more after today.
There's going to be a lot more. They're actually really insightful and fun. I look forward to them.
I love that. I love hearing that. Yeah. So, it's that creator first approach. I also want to call out, like you may have seen the news last week with, Mr. Beast announcing their partnership with Amazon, rolling out a new reality competition series called Beast Games. Spotter was the one that actually made the introduction to Amazon for Mr. Beast. So just another example of the spirit of how we support creators. We listen to their needs and we just want to help them in all the ways we can, just the same way we have.
We like that. It's a hot flex.
Yes.
Okay, Preston. So over a decade of fueling excitement. This man needs no introduction, right? So over 14 years of being a content creator of sorts. So talk me through your personal journey of achieving success, and then where did Spotter come in, and how is Spotter, impacting your journey as we speak?
Yeah, I'll need to summarize that since I've been on the platform for quite a long time. I definitely did not have gray hairs when I started making content, and now I got a lot of them.
I don't see any.
They're in there somewhere. No, it's been a really big blessing of a journey. I started when I was about 16. I know I probably still kind of look around that age, but I'm almost 30 now. This May, let's go, May 4th. Wow. May be with me.
HBD. Wow.
Yeah, I know, right? So it was a really exciting journey of seeing where content creation was going. Like back in the day when I made my first video, do you all remember YouTube before it was even acquired by Google?
Oh my goodness.
Was anybody else watching the RuneScape videos or like random cat videos? Yeah, I saw some hands over there. That's when I started posting content. It was very bad. And it still sometimes is bad. But that is the nature of being a creator and learning how to grow, right? So fast forwarding to maybe a few years ago when I first engaged with Spotter, having that opportunity to really want to provide more value to my viewers. I'm very much so viewer first. Our company TBNR is that same way because there is no team without the viewer, right? There's not even Preston without the viewer. So how can I contribute and how can I deliver more excitement to them, or rather fuel more excitement? I wanted to have more capital because there's so many talented people on this planet that can do things infinitely better than me, whether that's creative, post-production, production, management, I mean, you name it. Like there's just a million different things that creators are doing all simultaneously wearing those hats, and it's hard to let that go. But when you find the right person, i.e. you have the creative freedom because you have the capital to do that, that was something that really inspired me and excited me about our Spotter relationship.
So, Monica, tell me more about the close-knit creator relationship that Spotter has built. Like, do you get creators working together a lot? Do you take it, each creator case by case? And
it's actually a mix of both. So that's a great segue. So, obviously in that partnership that we had in funding creators, we became intimately, familiar with their problems. And then they came to us with, how else can we support? Right. So we started with, we're sitting on all this data. How can we impart that unique knowledge to them? But then also because of our relationships, how can we facilitate connections across this growing creator community that we've been forming? But then also, how do we connect them to the greater industry, like an Amazon? And how do we connect them to also employees at Spotter who are expert in a lot of these things? So we started with the individual relationships. We really wanted to prove our value through the data and insights. We impart really unique deep dive analyses. A lot of our creators will attest to where we're helping them maximize their viewership from the YouTube algorithms. We're helping them think about how to increase their click-through, how do you improve your ad rates. We're even thinking about opportunities for prospective brand partnerships, as well as creator collab opportunities. There's a lot that data can tell you that we want to be helpful in offering that to creators. So that they
good
don't
thing
have
is
to
too, is like how many creators here are using data for their content creation? I need to see a lot of hands. I need like double
every
hands.
Hand. Yeah.
I mean, like think about it too, because I think that's a great thing to segue when it comes to data, because a lot of people always ask, and they're like, well, how do you differentiate between wanting to create content you're passionate about or also the data type driven content, if that makes sense? But at the end of the day, data is literally just viewer behavior in numerical form, right? And so again, if you're like a viewer first mentality as a creator, you want to provide them with exactly what they want. Sometimes that's hard because they don't know what they want exactly. Right. That comes with some innovation. However, it's just helping you go towards what they actually want. And speaking of how intimate the relationship is with Spotter and their influencers, she knows like my workout routine, what I eat for breakfast every day. Crazy.
Bedtime.
No, we definitely know them inside and out. And every creator that onboards to the creator community gets access to a creator success manager, which is really exciting. So the creator success manager will also provide exclusive invitations to events that we organize. And that's from, activations at major industry conferences or high-end summits that we've organized. You may have seen some of the summits we organized with Colin and Samir, for
I didn't get to go to any of them.
You couldn't come. You were on vacation. But then we also do these intimate creator dinners, small groups of creators coming together, often around cultural tentpoles like Black History Month and Women's History Month, really bringing, existing communities of creators together to connect over shared identity and experience. And all in the spirit of bringing the community closer together to learn from each other, learn from experts that we invite. So it's been a really, really powerful, 2 years where to see all the magic that's happening when you have all these creators in a room.
So what's the acquisition process? Are you guys going out and saying, I have someone in mind, we should work together? Are they coming to you?
It's been a mix of inbound and outbound, and obviously YouTube continues to grow as a platform, and the creators that we've funded also tell their friends about it, and then we've worked with creators as a result of that referral process. It's been a mix.
Okay, so kind of circling back to what you brought up earlier about AI.
Yes.
Mula Drex talked about it earlier this morning too. What is the direction Spotter's going, and how are you guys planning to use AI with your creators?
Yeah, just to go back to sort of how this came to be, similarly in the listening to creators' needs, and I've already talked about how we formed the community, how we've imparted knowledge, that led us to really learn that there was this pressing need for creators to have tools around how to ideate. Yeah. How do you research high-performing content, to your point, getting really savvy with the data, packaging titles and thumbnails, ideating new concepts and workflow management. And obviously we've seen AI tools like ChatGPT become common in the community, but we've had creator conversations with Preston, with Mr. Beast, with Jude Perfect, and what we learned was the available technologies weren't as optimal as they could be. So we started to build a creator product team from the ground up, bringing together engineers, analytics experts, and really designers, and just sort of going from the ground up to think about how can we help creators deliver better videos and save precious money and time through creative AI software. So that's what we're building, and there's various tools that we're building as well within that I'd love to talk about. So specifically around research, around ideation, around workflow management, around packaging, just to help creators really just get better on the platform.
How do you feel like these AI, advancements are going to help you as a creator?
They're never going to replace creators, in my opinion. Fingers crossed. But they're really nice to have, right? Because at the end of the day, you're just looking for additional inspiration. And the thing when it comes to data is it can be so difficult to just go through the granular details. But when you have somebody or a software that gets to aggregate that and point you more in the right direction, where it makes it more ease of access, it's super beneficial because you could have a fantastic idea, but we all know if you can't package that idea well, it really doesn't matter at the end of the day. You can make the most perfect video YouTube's ever seen, but if nobody clicks on it, it doesn't matter. So getting to be able to explore different types of titles for more inspiration, or even packaging opportunities for the thumbnail of wow, I didn't even think about this. And even if you don't use the idea verbatim that you might get with Spotter software or any type of data aggregator, it still gives you inspiration for something that you're like, oh my gosh, I would never have thought about this if I didn't see this.
Yeah, and to be clear, every recommendation, concept, and image that's generated from these tools are personalized to the creator and their content, right? Yeah. So that's really, really powerful. And it's all generated through Spotter analytics and AI engines. So, we have these tools now available for early access to our creator community. But last week, we actually dropped our first sort of creative suite product, the Title Exploder tool specifically, and that's now available to qualified creators beyond the community. So it's really, really exciting to see our world grow from that standpoint.
You've been with Spotter for how long now, you said?
3 years?
Yeah. Okay.
2021, I believe.
So what was your initial gut reaction saying, this is the right move for me, this is going to help advance my business?
Well, originally it was let's take a hedge against inflation. Come on, it's COVID, right? So obviously looking out for the best interest of the business, but also in partnering with somebody like Spotter and the rest of the team was fantastic. But initially, again, it was the same reaction of I want to provide more value to the viewers. I'm a terrible editor. I cannot edit for absolute anything. And being able to invest into that section of the business was huge. There's so many different things that you can invest in.
Yeah. All right, talk to me a little bit about Spotter Summit.
Spotter Summit, yes.
Tell us about that.
Yeah.
Well, you better come next year.
I'm trying. I swear.
We've got to schedule way in advance.
What's the value?
Yeah, so what we see as an opportunity with the Spotter Summit is really creating this high-end experience where we bring a small group of top creators together where really the focus is on them. Yeah. It's a place to unwind. It's the opportunity to connect with other creators and really just sort of level up their learning. We bring in very sort of high-value, well-known speakers to the event. We had Dr. Peter Attia, So, Colin Samir organizes the event. So, it's just very, very sort of high profile from that sense, but it's very intimate and it's away from the fans, away from the community so that creators can just connect with each other.
Yeah. Amazing. Can you elaborate a little bit more about Spotter's catalog licensing program? And how that benefits creators as well?
Yeah. I mean, I think this model is really suited for those creators who've already successfully built, a community and audience around their content on YouTube. And those creators who are sort of ready to now build a business around that and really think about a sustainable model, to do that, you need capital, right? So if you have a really clear plan, then capital makes sense for you. So there are definitely specific attributes that we look for when we're funding creators. So, creators who are generally, generating about 1 million views a month. They have over 500,000 subscribers, and they've already been publishing content for the last 12 months, is the rough barometer of things that we look for.
So you're not supposed to take the deal and buy Lambos? I did it wrong?
You can actually do whatever you want with the capital, and that actually has been, I think, a really big key element for why we've been able to scale. So if you want to go buy your Lambo, you go buy your Lambo, as long as you keep creating.
We, want to take some questions because I think this is a big knowledge piece for a lot of people. Not everyone has exposure to the resources that you guys have. And, Preston, you are living proof of how this can help elevate success and, generate more, views and success within your brand. So I want to open it up to the crowd here. Let's.
Yeah, we had so many different questions, but rather than talking at you guys, we thought it'd be a lot more beneficial to bring in some of the questions.
Okay, we got a mic right there.
Imagine there's no questions. It's fine.
No, there's one right there.
I'll just cry.
Is your focus only on YouTube creators at the moment, or are you looking to expand to other platforms as well?
Right now, it's YouTube creators, but we would love to expand. And it just really depends on how, platforms evolve when it comes to monetization and that recurring, predictable sort of income engine.
Right. Thank you.
Anybody else? Wow. Yeah. That's what I'm talking about.
Okay, literally, Preston, you are my daughter's number one request for today. She's like, Mom, you're going to Samsung. Are you going to see Preston?
Oh my gosh, that's adorable.
Yeah, this is the moment I just needed to talk to you. But on the real, if you are starting out on YouTube, for many of the viewers who are tuning in right now, I know Spotter is where you want to be. That's where you want to get at. That's the goal. But for someone just starting out, what is the actionable advice you would give to them, on a weekly basis? Do this so you can become me in 10 years.
Such a good question. Really, it comes down to discipline, because that's something that most people are looking and waiting for the motivation. I mean, that's something that's always going to be a constant struggle, but you have to be disciplined. And the first 100 videos, maybe the first 1,000 videos are going to be absolute garbage, but you just have to overcome that anxiety of putting something out there and having that fear of rejection. It's innate. It's just something that we all struggle with, but you have to do it no matter what. And the great thing is with YouTube, there's a low barrier to entry with shorts, or if you wanted to go make content on TikTok, I mean, there's so many different ways to slice it, but shorts is a really good way because you don't have to put as much time, effort, or production value into things. And it's really just about learning the skills. Eventually, you want to get to the point to where you exist in this Goldilocks zone of content I really enjoy to create, but also content that is in a really large pond. So that way I'm not necessarily creating very niche content unless it's something that you really love and you find an awesome community within there. But, if you love gaming, odds are you probably will find a very large pond to fish in. But that Goldilocks zone is so important because if you don't have the passion, it's just not going to work. It's not going to last very long. So ensuring that you're making content that's not only popular, but something that you found passion for is really important. And just practice. It's all about getting those reps in. 1% better every day. I mean, even 1% better every week really compounds.
I think also just to add to what you said, this industry is rapidly evolving. Trends are constantly changing. And I think just really staying on top of your game, right? Investing the time and strategizing, learning, connecting with other creators, being open to new technology, right? That is the key to maintaining your competitive edge. That's so you're continuing to seed, but also fail. Also, the constant failure is necessary for the long-term sustainable success.
Yeah, there's really nothing new under the sun. Probably one of my favorite quotes in Ecclesiastes, but genuinely, it do be like that, okay? I promise you, if you found something that you believe is revolutionary, it has been done before. And there's always waves of things that come back, maybe after a month or even years. But I'm telling you right now, like, there is just nothing new under the sun in a good way, because you can continuously take somebody's product that maybe you really look up to and figure out a way to innovate it. And then it becomes something like I call, like, replicate and innovate. You're not going to take something and copy it one for one, but you can definitely take something and then add your own spice or feng shui to it and make it something really exciting and make it original.
Thank you. So make 1,000 videos before you give up.
Oh yeah, maybe more. I mean, who knows? I deleted all my old ones, thank God.
Thank you.
Okay, so piggybacking off of that, first, we're the moms of this group, and also my son is low-key obsessed with you, so this is a moment right here. But also just wanted to bring up, you mentioned YouTube Shorts. Are there recommendations as far as, even Monica, you've mentioned monetization, as far as like both long form and shorts, or start with one and move into the other? Are you seeing a difference or a way to build your account? Is there one
Shorts
that's
is
better
going to be
than
the
other?
easiest way to build your community. I mean, there are creators that have literally not even made one long form video and have 20 million subscribers on Shorts. Now, albeit that is definitely more inflated because of the way that the Shorts algorithm kind of works. But again, you're getting in those reps by creating those. And eventually you can transition into long form. It's like a streamer that wants to transition into being a content creator for VODs or vice versa. You can really do both. Now, when it comes to Shorts monetization, I will tell you, it is obviously something that's still a work in progress, of course, since it's such a new feature on the platform. So you're not going to see the same earnings as if you would on the long form, but it's much easier to generate viewership on short form content.
Yeah, and on the Spotter side, we don't actually do any licensing deals around short form content. It's specifically on the long form content, and all of those metrics I quoted are around the long form content. However, we do see a lot of creators continuing to be successful at shorts, and they're driving revenue through brand partnerships, and that continues to be sort of they're in demand from that perspective. But we've also seen creators who are doing a lot of shorts and not understanding, sort of like seeing the connection between their short form and their long form. And these are specifically creators who've already found success in the long form. They've started sort of leaning into shorts because YouTube was really pushing that. But then sort of to see maybe like a little bit of a decline in their long form, but they're seeing the shorts go up, but then sort of a little decline in long form. So then coming to sort of a crossroads of like, what do I want to do? What am I leaning into? Like, who do I want to be? So there is this constant also process of just like identity and strategy of like, how are you leaning in? How are you utilizing your resources? So, I think it's just, again, like an ongoing like discovery of how these sort of two formats are working together on YouTube specifically.
Test it out. Awesome. Thank you.
Yay! We love questions. So much.
We got one more.
Yeah, I see a hand up. Let's go.
Let's go, Ben Treat.
Come on, Chad.
Hey. Love you guys. So it seems like Spotter really prioritizes long-form content creators. And I just know that there's a lot of us in here who are very short-form focused. Is there a reason you guys really look to long-form? And would you recommend us short-form people maybe taking a larger interest in making that long-form content?
We would love to see all of you taking an interest in longer form content. And obviously with the rise in connected TVs, I know you liked that piece we did in the newsletter. There's obviously a lot of consumption happening over the top with long form. And it's just such an organic play that we see happening. So yes, I mean, I think the reason we're not focused on short form right now is because of the in-product monetization that is so strong for long form on YouTube's. And that's how we've been able to build this licensing business, because of the revenue that's generated from long form content specifically. So we've really focused on long form content. But I will say, we are thinking about our AI creator software and how we could potentially help those creators who are doing short form and wanting to go long form. How could those creator tools help them get there? We are not there yet, but we are thinking about this because we've run into so many creators who are wanting to do that. So stay tuned, more to come. We definitely hear that as a goal and pain point in the community.
Awesome. Sounds exciting.
That's a great question.
Preston, what last advice do you have for the up-and-coming creators in the room, on the live stream?
I really want to emphasize on your question as well, because you said that should we start creating long-form content? It really depends on the passion, right? There's a really good quote from somebody who worked very closely with Steve Jobs, and I can't remember his name, but being able to prioritize and saying no to good opportunities is something that's very difficult, but it's something that I wish I did a lot more in my career. Very easy to spread yourself thin, but then nothing actually gets moved. right? And you really want to have your focus and your priorities lined up. And priorities just recently became plural. So make sure you're identifying what your goals are and why you're passionate about this goal, the obstacles that are keeping you from reaching that goal, and the strategies to help you overcome the obstacles to meeting that goal. And then you can reevaluate once a month or so. I did a really long talk about this at Vid Summit, and maybe we'll be able to link it somewhere on the live stream. But this was an awesome keynote that I gave that has a lot more granular details on that.
Thanks, Preston. And then Monica, last question for you. For those out here that are interested in working with Spotter in some capacity or getting noticed, what would your advice be?
Yeah, well, definitely check out the title exploder that we've released. It was promoted in Colin Tamir's latest interview with Mr. Beast about the Amazon partnership. So definitely check that out if you're already sort of leaning into YouTube. But I think to Preston's point, definitely continue to follow your passions. And if long form is something that you've been interested in doing, explore that. And I hope that journey leads you to us in the future.
PrestonPlayz, Monica, thank you so much.
Thank y'all so much. We're going to go walk 10 feet this way now.